Okay, Abusia, Auditor General Abusia. The report be ababontin and the report na or the ababontin, Abusia wakwa recover 10 million Ghana cedis on earned salaries. Be every NPP nkɔɔfoɔ bi wɔ a abusua ɔmo nyɛ adwuma bi a ɛnso no ɔmo da payroll so a ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛtua saa nkɔɔfoɔ yi ka. Abusua Auditor General Report ɔde aba abɔnten no 10 million Ghana cedis ɛna ɛkyerɛ sɛ wɔarecover saa nkɔɔfoɔ yi ɔmo da payroll so ɛna ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛtua ɔmo ka. Sika biya kyerɛ sɛ month ne so biya na kyerɛ sɛ month ne koraa nso ne yɛde sika na yɛde atoma ma ɔmo ɛna Auditor General ɔde report aba wakɔ recover sɛ sika na abusua saa nkɔɔfoɔ yi sisi ano CID nso abarema ɔyɛ investigation na saa nkɔɔfoɔ no ya prosecute ɔmo ne ya jail ɔmo a abusua ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa yɛn sɛ mɔmrɛ no mɔm yɛnkɔ na yɛnkɔnkɔti nsɛm a ɛkɔɔ so unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share ma afoforo nso ɛnsa ntumi ɛnka bi aha Ghana Politics Avenue. So and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that any updates be able drop biano wonso wonsa ebetumi akabi medamase.
17 also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and on DSTV channel 279. We're all across the world on 3news.com. Coming up next here on Ghana Tonight, the Office of the Auditor General has recovered 10 million from individuals, and that's coming up next, who were paid salaries they were not entitled to. That is information. In fact, he said this to the graphic earlier today. Millions, you understand, individuals who were paid these salaries they were not entitled to, remitting the funds into the consolidated fund at the Bank of Ghana. From what we do know, the recoveries made voluntarily by those implicated come amid the ongoing special audit into unearned salaries, a practice that has long drained the public resources. So the Auditor General, Johnson Kwamwa Siedu, spoke to the Daily Graph earlier today that the funds were recovered within the past 2 months. 2 months as the audit gained momentum. Within 2 months, they've been able to recover 10 million cedis from persons who were taking salaries that they were not entitled to or that they do not deserve. And this is it. And this audit is covering between 2023 and April 2025. So far, the audit shows that 53,311 government workers who had officially left the public service remained on the public payroll, resulting in over 150 million cedis paid in unearned salaries. Think about it. 53,311 government workers. They've left the public service, but then their names are still on the payroll. They are receiving salaries. Out of the 53,311 separated staff, 2,446 continued receiving salaries after their exit dates. These unearned salaries, totaling 150.36 million Ghana cedis, are now subject to recovery, with the Auditor General urging the MMDAs to retrieve the funds promptly. So these persons are still receiving salaries because their exit was not communicated to the Controller and Accountant General, so kept paying them money. So the fundamental question is, who was taking the money? Because these people are off the public payroll. That's why anti-corruption crusaders are not very excited about just their recoveries or these people voluntarily returning the money. If you follow the money, follow the paper trail. This is public payroll, so obviously the payment would have followed a particular structure. If you follow the money, we will find who is responsible for doing this, engaging in these acts of corruption to serve us some deterrent, punish them. Well, the Auditor General says they are collaborating with the Ministry of Finance and the CID to investigate and prosecute public officials who authorized and validated these fraudulent payments. And this comes on the back of the President, John Dramani Mahama's indication he gave that there are some special courts going to be set up to deal with the infractions that the Auditor General captures every year in this report. Take a look.
For anti-corruption, I actually said we'll speak with the Chief Justice and see if they can create special courts for prosecuting people who are flagged in the Auditor General's report. And so that is something the Attorney General is pursuing, because every year we see Auditor General's report, it goes before the Public Accounts Commission, they say this person diverted this person misappropriated this and that, and yet no action is taken. And so Ghanaians have been saying, so what's the use of the Auditor General's report? And so we're asking the Chief Justice, can you create special courts which can fast-track action on the Auditor General's report? So people who are determined to be criminally liable after the Public Accounts Committee has sat can be put before those courts so that they are sanctioned to create a deterrent so that other people do not do the same thing that they have done.
President John Dramani Mahama there. But before we go, there's an update we're getting right now. The scores earlier today, scores of students of the Tamale University sustained various degrees of injury after the students clashed with police personnel during a protest against the management of the school over what they describe as neglect, misappropriation, mismanagement of the school's funds, and unjustified fee increment. Now, the students blocked all entry points of the school and also burnt lorry tires at the administration to register their displeasure. And that's what you're seeing on the screen. This is what happened earlier today. And we're going to show you videos of the students who sustained injuries as a result of this protest earlier today. And my colleague, Christopher Marco, was there, captured it all for us on video. And these police personnel will see there on campus earlier today. It's Christopher Marco, is our Northern and Savannah regional correspondent, joining me on the telephone right now. Chris, what's the update to this? What's the situation on campus right now?
Well, I can confirm to you that the situation has been brought under control. The police were able to disperse the crowd. Leadership of the students supported the police in this drive, and as we speak, some level of calm has been restored, but the students are bent on ensuring that management used or channeled their funds or school fees into the purposes for which the monies are being collected.
And how about the injured students? And we're going to put that video on the screen right now. How are they doing, and where were they taken for medical attention, if you do know?
Yes, so they were hit by rubber bullets that were fired by the police, who were on campus to restore calm and order. And as we speak, they have all been treated and discharged, even with those who have sustained serious degrees of injuries. They have also been discharged. Fortunately for them, the school has a hospital, and so they were all taken to the school's hospital, where they were appropriately taken care of and discharged. So as we speak, they are all in their hostels as of now. But one thing is that, after, like I mentioned, the students have emphasized that they will not take it any longer. School management must ensure that the money every person taken from them must be accounted for, and they are calling on the education minister to institute a forensic audit on the school.
I see. But how about the campus? Any idea of whether security personnel are still on campus as we speak?
Yes, I saw some of them around 3 p.m. Just moving around the school campus. The students have indicated that they don't want to see any security person on campus because the matter is between the students and the management. All they are asking for is that they want management to tell them what they've been using their school fees for. Apart from that, they have never intended to hold any rioting demonstration. All they have told management they wanted to do was a peaceful demonstration, and exactly what they did today, according to them.
Chris, appreciate you for this. Thank you so much. Christopher Marco is our Northern and Savannah regional correspondent. On behalf of the rest of the team, we do appreciate your company. Join us same time tomorrow for another conversation. My name is Alfred. Development, that's CID. That's coming up next year on Ghana Tonight. Now, they have disclosed that the cost of winning is a little over 100 million, right? But the cost is increasing over time. That's where the concern is. At the time, some 3 years ago, they had indicated that some illegal miners, galamsey operators, persons involved in nefarious activities have all been identified as political party financiers. They say in this latest report that the cost of political party campaigns is on the rise. In fact, the recent study by the CDD shows that it costs approximately $100 million, and that's $100 million and 693,000 cedis to effectively, the emphasis is also effectively fund presidential and parliamentary campaigns. So 100 million, and that's for the presidential, and then $693,000. And this is just a conservative figure. It actually could be more. This is what they have found. And we've spoken to some politicians who say that, look, this is conservative. Really, it could be more than what we're talking about now. And now this, based on what they put out now, has doubled to $200 million. And it's affecting the governance of the country, leading to overruns of budget during an election year, political entrepreneurs who are holding politicians to ransom to award dubious contracts, because really, there's no Father Christmas out there. When they put in their money as businessmen, they would expect some returns as well from whatever investment that they have made. And the promises that are given to them by these politicians. So what happens next? They talk about, and this is the question that the CDD is asking, that are the revelations from the NPP flag bearer race worth reflecting on, or it's politicking as usual? This is the CDD. They asked this question as part of this research. They use the flag bearer race of the NPP ahead of the 2024 elections as a reference point to some of the revelations they captured in this report. They say, is it really worth reflecting, or is just politics as usual? That's the question that they asked. And this is why they asked this question, right? They reference a number of comments made by some of the aspirants. There were claims of incidents of vote buying in the lead up to the presidential primaries. Kenneth Japon's camp alleged that Dr. Bawumia's camp has given some 100,000 cedis alleged to party chairman. Kenneth Japon, during his campaign in Sagnerugu, ahead of that, that's the primaries that elected Dr. Bawumia, also publicly made the allegation of vote buying. And when the constituency chairman denied the allegation, he showed a video to the delegates to buttress his argument. So it's on the basis of this that, and together with the rising cost of politics, as it were, and the presidential campaigns in this country, that they ask fundamental questions of how exposed is our democracy to the impact and the effects of monetization of our politics. Now, let's go into Zoom now. Dr. John Osai-Kwapong is a fellow for democracy and development at the Center for Democratic Development, CDD. They are the authors of this report that I've been talking about. He's joining us on Zoom right now. Doc, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. I mean, this picture that we've just shown, that there's the cost of contesting for president of the Republic of Ghana is increasing. The figure you put there, $200 million, some politicians who are in the game say, well, this is conservative. It actually could be more. How troubling is this?
Thank you very much. I think it's also very important to quickly put in context that this is a study that was actually done 4 years ago in 2021. But having said that, it is a troubling development for our politics. I often argued that we all recognize that it costs money to run a political party, to build all of that infrastructure that you need to be able to successfully manage a political party at the national level. It does cost money to run for office, right? To travel all the constituencies campaigning for votes. So there's that recognition that definitely every candidate would need some amount of financial resources to be able to contest for office. The troubling part is the cost of running for that office and what that says about our democracy. If you are not careful, you reduce democracy and democratic politics to democracy goes to the highest bidder, right? So that the person with the deep pockets, who may not necessarily be the person with the best ideas, with the best motivations, with the right reasons for wanting to run for office, gets to be the one who ends up winning, being elected. And that also has implications for governance. The other troubling part is that our campaign finance legal framework is also not the strongest in terms of monitoring, reporting, and how transparent it is. So you don't even know who is giving what to who and how much and what they want in return. So again, if you are not careful, you go down the slippery slope of, even if it's not the candidate spending their own resources, you would have to ask yourself, where is all of that money coming from? And those who are giving the candidate that kind of money to contest for an office, what do they want in return?
And that's where the concern is. And then for me, sorry, I think we lost you, Dave. If you can hear me, yes. But you make the point about what these persons will want in return. And over the years, you at CDD, you reference this 4-year report and then what is being put out now. The fact that 4 years ago, you put out a figure of over 100 million. Now we're talking about $200 million and over for just to be president. You have made a case for state financing of political parties, which is a conversation that keeps evolving in many ways. We have a case of the NPP, a leading member, former member of parliament, a private legal practitioner, Samuel Atacha, making a case for some, the party says they need money, 4 million CDs for development fees from all the, that's the flag bearer hopefuls to come up with. He indicates that a candidate unable to raise that isn't really worth the assault or worth leading a party like the NPP as well. So you juxtapose the need for money for development and the risk of that phenomenon, monetization of the politics as well. Where do we find the balance?
Respectfully, I disagree. I don't think that a candidate's inability to cough up 4 million Ghana cedis in a development fee in order to be able to contest in a presidential primary is the basis for evaluating whether they are worth the assault or not. Yes, political parties also do count on their candidates to be able to mobilize the financial resources that is needed to contest an election. But I don't believe that that is also the only measure of a candidate worth the assault and their ability to lead a political party successfully, not to an election, but beyond an election, to be able to successfully govern the country. So I would be very hesitant to make a connection between, if you can't cough up the $4 million Ghana cedis development fee, then you have no business running.
Okay, abusuawe ne ensma ekoso ewo political highway ni so eye Auditor General reports na yede ehonsem edebrem na President Mahama so a order eye Attorney General say nkwofo a omudin ebe pisa Auditor General report omo ye behind sa 10 million Ghana cedis unauthorized a year salaries a the mom abusu a set fast track court na just say fan prosecuting ko for the bad say some je penekokotisa and some way at the mi Ghana politics avenue. So and don't forget to click on the notification bell so na be any update be able drop biano once a bit to me akabi madam say